Hey there, new friend. We are so glad you found Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. What started as a passion project has grown into a beautiful and supportive community, and we couldn't be more grateful. Would you like to help us cover the cost of producing and growing this amazing sisterhood? When you join our Uncluttered and Unfiltered bonus club on Patreon for just $5 a month, you'll have early bird access to commercial-free video versions of our episodes, plus plenty of bonus content and some other surprises along the way. Check our show notes for a link to our Patreon and to our always free ladies-only private Facebook group. And thank you for being here.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for the power, performance, and reliability of a new Super Start battery. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Looking to make a positive change? Sober October is the perfect time to be more mindful about your alcohol consumption. Whether you're aiming to cut back or take a complete break, October offers a great opportunity to experience the benefits like improved sleep, reduced stress, and a boost to your mental health. Join Hearts for Minds and discover a world of delicious non-alcoholic options with a free ebook, Mocktails with Meaning, featuring curated recipes from expert mixologists to help you celebrate mindfully. It's easy to incorporate non-alcoholic drinks into your social life and enjoy the same flavors and fun without the alcohol. So this October, raise a glass to your well-being. Join the movement, support Hearts for Minds, and discover the joy of mindful drinking. Check out the free ebook at heartsforminds.org and in our show notes.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back, with nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome, everybody, to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. We have so much to go over today. We've got a lot to talk about.
I know. It's been a busy few weeks.
So my name is Eden, and Christine is with me. Christine Stone is a professional organizer. I am whatever the complete opposite of that would be, which is, well, I'm a reformed, unorganized person because lately you've been helping me. And so Christine will often share these tips to help me get more organized, and you are along for the ride. So therefore you will also get a little bit more organized, having listened to us just having a chit chat, being ladies that are over 50 and slightly over 60 for us.
Yes.
So
very slightly.
Here in Florida, we have been sitting home, waiting out two big storms. One, which first of all, I should say where we are in Jacksonville, Florida, richly blessed in that we always have these near misses, and we are so very fortunate, but we do also know that our neighbors along the Northeast coast
and in North Carolina,
from Hurricane Helene and also most recently Hurricane Milton, lots of devastation, lots of loss, and our hearts and prayers go out to you if that's something you're suffering from.
Yeah.
We ask you regularly, how's it on our ladies only Facebook group? How's everyone doing out there? Because we don't know where everyone lives.
Right.
And at the end of this episode, you're going to go over some hurricane preparedness, emergency preparedness kit organizational tips.
Yeah, and I think people don't realize it's not just about hurricanes. A lot of people think, they don't think about losing electricity. And that is the main thing. Also dealing with insurance and being prepared. So
you're going to have some tips to share on that coming up. But also we're going to talk about some things that went down when we were riding it out or hunkering down, as they like to say on the news. And some of that involved watching a couple of TV shows and enjoying them and not enjoying some of them. And then other things were done like learning choreography in your household. So I definitely want to cover that as well. Think about it for a second. What dance do you think Christine and her husband Mitch tried to master while they were hunkering down? So you think about that for just a second. But can we do a little health update? Because I feel like whenever you get two women over 50, two or more women, one of them is going to have something health related they need to chat about.
Yes,
so it's
absolutely.
my turn today.
Yes.
It's my turn today. So I want to tell you that a few weeks ago when I ran the Sydney, Australia Marathon, and I had this cool story involving me falling face first on my elbows at the finish line, getting back up, dusting myself off, and having a cool story with great pictures of a swollen elbow and bruised forearms to show off my toughness. And it was a thrilling moment. And now what do I have? Looks like it might be bursitis in my elbow.
No.
You go from this really cool, young sounding story of I'm running a marathon. I throw my arms out. I dive. I get back up and I cross the finish line to, yeah, there's still water there. Looks like it might be bursitis.
Oh my God. That's
such an
painful though. Bursitis is painful.
It's every time I hit my elbow, and I'm noticing now my elbow is everywhere.
Oh my God.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere I want to be. Like even I've talked about this before. This table, everything's in the way of this elbow. But it went from being a cool injury to an old person's, bursitis, arthritis.
Well, it's always arthritis.
Yes.
That's the name of the game now. You have a little bit of arthritis, and you're always like, where did that come from?
Right.
Well, you are getting up in age, and
you have a little injury, a little bruise. Next thing you know, there's stiffness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it. So let's talk about the hunkering down. We both watched the Netflix show Nobody Wants This, and we both loved that.
I absolutely loved it.
That's Kristen Bell, Adam Brody.
Yes.
He's a rabbi.
Yes.
And she is not Jewish. And there are all kinds of hurdles for them to overcome. And in the course of this, there were some great characters, some great relationships. I found it to be delightful.
Well, when is the last time you've seen a really good rom-com? I mean, it was funny. It was emotional. It was romantic. And I am a hopeless romantic.
Chemistry out
Chemistry.
The roof. And the back and forth, just the chit chat between them was so cute.
And her sister.
Her sister is great.
It was a great movie. It's so nice to see that we're going back to some really good stuff now, because there's been a lot of junk.
And you got to see their podcasters, which I thought was very cute. So they have a podcast, and they're waiting on big calls from big people to tell them big things like we are.
Yep.
That track too. And I was raised in a Jewish household, so all of the things about his family made sense to me. And the whole thing I thought was really cute.
I was fascinated that Adam Brody has not aged a bit.
He was on the OC.
He was on the OC, and I loved him on the OC, but I feel like he is aging in reverse. I mean, he looks amazing.
I didn't watch the OC.
Oh, I was obsessed with the OC.
Were you? I'm trying to think of the time frame. You're
in the 90s, because I was really big into those kind of shows. I really was, like Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, the OC. I loved those versus
Dawson's
scripted.
Creek.
Loved Dawson's Creek. But Adam Brody is like the same character with a beard. You know what I mean?
He's very lovable.
Yes.
Very lovable.
Yes.
In this.
It was great. Highly recommend that.
Yes. The other one that you watched was The Perfect Couple.
Yeah. And I watched that a couple months ago.
Okay.
Maybe a month ago.
Tell me about that one, because
Have you not seen
mixed reviews.
Oh, listen, I mean, first of all,
that's Nicole Kidman.
They had me at Liev Schreiber because I absolutely love him from Ray Donovan. Nicole Kidman, it's set in the Hamptons. There's a murder in it. So, they had me at murder. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I definitely wanted to see it. Now, was it the best show I've ever seen? No. I didn't even really get it most of the time. I didn't really understand it because it went so back and forth of what I didn't even understand. You know how they always go back in time?
Yes.
Anyway, it was fine. Let's just say it was fine. But
consumable. It was
fine.
A light snack.
A light snack. I mean, if you have nothing else to do, it's,
But the dance at the beginning is where your attention lies.
Yes. Well, at first it annoyed me like everyone else. Like, why are they doing this dance routine
as the opening
of the show? And it's silly, and I don't get it, right?
To a Meghan Trainor song.
Yes.
Called Criminal.
And the more I kept seeing it on social media, I'm like, uh-oh.
Mama's got to learn to dance.
I never got Thriller down pat, but I may really be able to do this one.
So, okay, for those who don't know, there was a time where she really, really wanted to learn the Thriller dance.
Like more than you can ever imagine.
For whatever reason, could never get it all down. So did you have Mitch out there trying to learn the dance moves? You found a tutorial. I found a tutorial.
And by the way, she was really, really good. She's on YouTube. I don't know what her name is, but she was so good because she did it in segments. Like, okay, we're going to do the first few and then we're going to do it all, get to know it really well. And then we'll go on to the next one. Then we're going to put it all together. So I really liked that. My husband was watching me do it.
Sure.
Because he finds it very humorous when I try to dance to anything.
As a good husband should.
I mean, I think I entertain him. You know what I mean? It definitely was easier to learn than I thought. I haven't gotten to the very last part and put it all together. But for Thanksgiving, we all decided we were going to learn this dance and do it at Thanksgiving at my daughter's house. So stay tuned because I'm really trying to watch this. But this is what we do every single hurricane. When we have nothing to do, we come up with really silly stuff. And last year, I know you guys are probably thinking you go through this every year. Yes, every year we seem to be going through a hurricane.
We do.
And it was 2 days before my daughter's birthday. And so every year when it's someone's birthday in our family, I always sing the part to the Carpenter song, On the Day That You Were Born, that part.
Sure.
And I send it to him. And every year I've been trying to get really creative because, I don't like to just send it to them in that way. I like to get creative. So last year we got really creative because I made my husband and I sing it together and send it to my daughter for her birthday. It was so good.
It was good?
It was so good. My daughter loved it.
Did you harmonize? What do you mean?
No, we have the song in the background on the laptop.
Sure.
And then we wait till it gets to that part. And then we both were singing it together to her. And then we put her name in it.
You're a fun family. You do the karaoke about all the people who've passed away every year. You do that at Christmas?
Yes, at Christmas Day.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're just very quirky people. I mean, we try to have fun in situations that really aren't fun, if you want to know the truth.
Sure.
I mean, especially when we didn't have electricity for like 15 hours with Helene.
That's true. You didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
We never lost ours, so I was very happy about that.
And that's when I went back to reading real books because without electricity, I had no internet.
Real books like the cavemen did.
So I bring out all my books and then I just start reading like old school. That's why people are always like, why do you have some books around? I'm like, because when I have no electricity, I haven't read half these books, but I intended to read them and I never did. And then, and you're probably thinking, why do you live in a state that you have to go through this every year? But you can vouch for me. I grew up in Miami my whole entire life, and we never had one hurricane until Hurricane David that actually didn't happen. It missed us, thank God. I mean, this is unusual the past, I would say, 20 years that we've been constantly bombarded. Because quite frankly, I start asking myself that. I don't know about you, but why am I living here? This is ridiculous. It's so stressful from June until the end of October.
When I was in high school, middle school, I guess it would have been middle school. I don't know. I grew up also in South Florida, and we evacuated for one of the hurricanes. I can't remember which one, to my high school. And so I was in high school. So we were literally at my school, evacuated overnight. And it was the weirdest thing sleeping at your own school. That was very strange. That was a very strange, weird time. But moving on to happier thoughts other than hurricanes. So let's see what else went down during that. Okay. We haven't talked since you went to the Casey and the Sunshine Band show. So let's hear about that experience. And I do promise, like I said, we're going to talk about getting organized ahead of a disaster. That is our organizing piece of today. But let's talk about Casey and the Sunshine Band, because that's another opportunity where you can go and feel young. A concert featuring one of the people that we used to love back in the day.
Yeah, between Donny Osmond and Casey and the Sunshine Band, wow. You know, it's funny because in your brain, you think it should be all young people in the audience because you don't feel old. And then you get there and you're like, holy moly. I was like, wow. But I do this all the time with you where when I am going, I always take my notes out and start writing notes because I don't like to go out, as you all know. I am a homebody. So to get me out is almost like an act of God sometimes. But Casey, I was going because my new motto is if you don't go.
You wanted to put on your boogie shoes.
I wanted to put on my boogie shoes.
What's your motto?
Well, if you don't see him now, you're never going to see him.
God
That's
bless
my
that
motto. You know what I mean? If
yes.
you don't do it, your time is getting very short.
In fairness, he could say the same about us. If they don't come see me, they may never get to come see me. So.
Yep, exactly. So we get an Uber. This is just...
So it's you and Mitch. And
well,
Uber.
first of all, I got to preface with, I made it like a date night. I got all dressed up, did my hair.
You went and got a blowout.
I got a blowout.
By somebody who didn't know who you were going to see. Right?
Yes. So I said after she blew my hair out, Casey will thank you for, and she goes, who? I go, Casey and the Sunshine Band. And she goes, I don't know them. I really couldn't believe it. I don't know why I couldn't believe it, but I couldn't believe it. So then, of course, I had to pull up a video. And then she said the famous words that you always hear. Oh, my dad liked him.
Yeah, of course.
My dad liked him.
Yeah.
Now it's making sense. Okay, yeah. I was like, ugh. Anyway, so really treated it like a real date night. Got all dressed up, did the makeup, whatever. We get in this Uber. This woman had her chair all the way back, like into my knees. And I was like, whatever, I'm going to ignore it. Had the windows all rolled down. And you have to know we're in Florida, so it's not cold here yet at all.
It's humid.
I mean, it's humid and it was pretty warm still that day. Had all the windows rolled down and we had like a 30-minute drive because it's that far to get to where the concert was. And finally, I said, do you mind, rolling up the window a little bit? I mean, literally, Mitch was laughing at my hair. My hair was like this wide all over the place because both windows were totally down. She rolled it up half the way and then cranked the AC. And I mean, cranked it with the windows rolled down.
So now it's full Beyonce in the back seat.
Oh my God. My hair is, my dry eye, which you guys always hear me complain about, is in full force. All my makeup's starting to run down my face because there's so much wind blowing in my eyes. So we finally get to downtown and she takes the wrong turn and we end up going somewhere that's totally, the roads are flooded from the hurricanes. No. Okay. Totally flooded. So instead of turning around, she decides to go in reverse for a while, all the way back, just all the way down the road. And I'm looking at my husband like, I don't know if this is safe to be driving in reverse for a long while. So finally, we have to tell her how to get there. And we're only blocks away from the place. So we're telling her how to get there. We get out. We both look at each other and like, worst Uber ride ever. Like in the history of Uber rides we've had, the worst.
So then it's race you to the bar.
Exactly. So we get to the restaurant and the woman goes, just 1 minute and we'll have seats at the bar. Someone's leaving, whatever. And we're like, okay. So we're waiting. This guy walks in. There's 2 empty seats at the bar and he goes and he sits down in one of them. So the woman goes over there and says, sir, these were reserved. We have 2 people waiting. He goes, too bad. I'm not getting up.
No.
And she goes, there's 2 of them. What if we move you down to the other end where there's a seat? No, I'm staying here and I'm not late. So now we have drama going on.
Why would he do that?
So I say to my husband, I'm not up for drama right now after that Uber ride. Mind you, my hair looks like I can't even describe. I mean, bad. So she apologizes. We're like, whatever. She goes, well, they're seating up on the 3rd floor up there. And we're like, fine, we'll go up there. The elevator's broken though. Now I am in like high heel shoes. I'm like, fine, it's fine. Well, after the second flight of stairs, I was like, I'm going to have a heart attack and die in high heel shoes walking up. We get up there, we sit down, we get
Was this at the Chop House or was this?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just
there's only one around the corner from the Florida Theater.
Yes.
So we get up there. Of course, we get the wobbly table.
I was just trying to get a picture for you guys, not from Jacksonville, because it's a rooftop.
Yeah, it's a rooftop.
Hi, it's Eden. I still laugh at the day that Christine rattled off all of her menopause symptoms like Rosanna Dana from back in the day. I think we all felt a little less alone when we heard that. From bloating to bad sleep to just feeling uncomfortable in your own skin. Hormone Harmony is perfect for those horrible menopause symptoms that make us put our lives on hold. Hormone Harmony supports hormonal balance and regulation. And what most women mention in the over 17,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony is it makes you feel like yourself again. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use our code UUPodcast at checkout, happymammoth.com, and use that code UU Podcast for 15% off today. So whether it's hot flashes and night sweats, racing thoughts, low moods, poor sleep, bloating, gas, lack of desire, Hormone Harmony can help. Visit happymammoth.com and use the code UU Podcast for 15% off your first order. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Looking to make a positive change? Sober October is the perfect time to be more mindful about your alcohol consumption. Whether you're aiming to cut back or take a complete break, October offers a great opportunity to experience the benefits like improved sleep, reduced stress, and a boost to your mental health. Join Hearts for Minds and discover a world of delicious non-alcoholic options with a free ebook, Mocktails with Meaning, featuring curated recipes from expert mixologists to help you celebrate mindfully. It's easy to incorporate non-alcoholic drinks into your social life and enjoy the same flavors and fun without the alcohol. So this October, raise a glass to your well-being. Join the movement, support Hearts for Minds, and discover the joy of mindful drinking. Check out the free ebook at heartsforminds.org and in our show notes.
And we get the wobbly table. Don't you hate when you get the wobbly table?
I don't know if there's such a thing as a non-wobbly table.
So we get the wobbly table, fine. And the waiter comes out. He brings us we order the drinks. He brings them back in and he says, my husband goes, yeah, I'm going to order a steak. And he goes, yeah, no, if you're trying to make it to a concert in an hour and 15 minutes, you're never going to make it.
We're like,
it's an hour and 15 minutes. No, I can't guarantee it.
How well done did he want his steak?
Not rare. Okay, he eats a steak. So we're like, okay, forget it. What can we get faster?
This is a steakhouse, by the way.
Yes. He goes, oh, here's the appetizer menu. Okay, fine. He comes back, all of the steak tidbits. He goes, no, we're out of those. Now you have to remember it's 6:20.
At a steakhouse.
Okay. I said, oh, you're so funny. Like, I'm thinking somehow he knew the night we had. He goes, no, I'm not kidding. We don't have any steak tidbits. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. What do you have? Meatballs. I said, fine, I'll take the meatballs. I said, I'll have the meatballs. And then my husband gets like some tuna thing that's raw. I don't know.
Give me the rawest, quickest thing on the menu.
20 minutes go by. He comes by. He goes, you want another drink? I go, no, I'm going to wait till we get to the concert. And he goes, well, the food's still not out yet. You sure you don't? I'm like, it's meatballs. So we finally get our food. Literally, we had like 5 minutes to walk from there around the corner to the concert. Now, to redeem the whole night, we get to Casey and the Sunshine Band, and they did not disappoint.
Yeah?
It was amazing.
So people have been posting videos of him in concert.
Yep.
He doesn't look the same as far as he's in a different physical fighting weight shape.
Yes.
He doesn't he's not lean and mean like he
like
was.
The 70s.
Like in the 70s, like who is?
Yeah.
And then he's got, you even said, looks like maybe he's got a little help with the hair department, like nice jet black hair still.
Well, no, it wasn't jet black. It was just, I think he's lost some hair. What,
Okay.
who hasn't?
Right. No, he looked his age,
Yeah.
in other words. But
Oh, he looked his age.
let me tell you, he looks so joyful in these videos.
So
that I've seen.
happy.
And you sent me a few from the show. His voice sounded incredible.
He sounded exactly the same. I mean, I swear, even my husband, who wasn't really into going, but just said he'd go, he was like, he was really good. They put on an amazing show. It was over an hour. I mean, he played every hit song. I mean, he made up for the night that when I said I hate going out.
He made up for the meatballs?
He made up for the meatball, the terrible Uber driver. And he has this one backup singer who is my age. I mean, 62.
You have a girl crush on her.
I have a girl crush on her.
You couldn't stop raving about her for why? What is it about her?
You know what? It is so refreshing at my age to see someone out there as an amazing singer. She's a great singer, but as a backup dancer with these other couple young girls who were probably in their 20s, early 30s. And she really held her own and was doing an amazing job. First of all, I said to my husband, how does she stay up this late? That was my first question. I mean, I was like, that alone fascinated me because they do more than one show a week. So she's probably doing this 5 nights a week or 6 nights a week. So I was like, how does she stay up this late every night? She looks amazing. She sounds amazing and she dances amazing. And she's 60 something years old. So that kind of made my night. I'm like, if she can do it, we all can do it.
If she can do that, you can learn the criminal dance.
Right. It inspired me to go home and I can do that dance.
You're going to do that dance.
I'm going to do that
You're
dance.
going to do that dance for, her name is?
Maria.
You're going to dance for Maria.
I'm going to learn the criminal dance for Maria and make her proud.
She would be.
Yeah.
All right, let's get
anyway.
It's time now for us to get a little serious here and talk about being organized in the face of an emergency, whether that emergency is something like an impending storm or just your power goes out because they're working in the neighborhood and you've got, it's nice if you're prepared for such moments. We seldom are. So what do you want to offer everybody?
Well, what I personally do, being in Florida, dealing with hurricanes every single year, the first thing I do is videotape everything in my house.
Okay.
And that's for more just insurance purposes. Every bedroom, everything in the garage, everything for insurance purposes. You could take pictures as well. So that's the first thing I highly recommend. Making sure all your insurance policies are up to date. You have enough coverage, which I've done many times prior to hurricane season, meeting with my insurance guy and making sure that everything is a go right before hurricane season begins. The next thing is, I know I've even had people comment, batteries and flashlights. People nowadays, especially people in their 20s, think old school, old lady, you're such an old person. But I don't think anyone realizes when you lose electricity, you are old school.
You're in the dark.
You're in the dark, especially when it happens at 2 a.m. You have no internet. You have no Wi-Fi. At least I don't at my house. Okay. And you need flashlights and you need batteries. And yes, we use them for 13 hours straight. So you need to have backup batteries. You can't open your refrigerator or your freezer or else everything will get ruined. So you kind of have to have enough perishables to eat or go out to eat, which restaurants are a nightmare because everyone's coming up with the same idea.
Yeah.
Well, let's go eat somewhere. None of us have electricity or power. So it really is imperative to check your batteries, flashlights, and make sure even having a little old school radio that you can buy off Amazon. So if you need to get any updates, you'll hear what's going on with the weather. So those are my big things. Now, one thing that I do that I can't stop doing, the minute I hear it's happening, I go to the grocery store and I buy the most ridiculous items every single time. Even my kids have made fun of me. I always get tons of peanut butter and I don't even eat peanut butter at all. And I get tons of tuna fish. I don't really eat tuna fish. So after hurricane season is over, I usually give a lot of it away because we don't eat that kind of food normally. I get tons of crackers. I don't eat crackers. I get all this food that I will not eat after a hurricane. So I have to donate it and give it away because we don't eat it. So what do you buy when you hear the word hurricane coming?
I have so much in my pantry that I don't eat already that I feel at any given moment I'm okay. And when I say things I in my pantry, I'm talking about like I'll buy those packets that will have rice and lentils in them, or sometimes it'll be tuna, like the flavored
Right.
tunas, and not so much chips and things like that, but like maybe protein bars and things
Right.
like that. So I feel as though I don't have to pigeonhole myself into just peanut butter, although I love peanut butter. So I could easily get by on just peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the entire time. But I have a little more creativity, but don't forget, you also don't have heat at that point. You can't heat these things up.
No, you have
So
to eat
you have
anything.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a friend who used to always buy Vienna sausages. And I was like, is that something you enjoy? You seem to always want to buy those. No, it's just my food I always buy. And then
Everybody
like,
has something
Right, but, like,
they
it's-
always buy.
you're not going to like it if the sun's out. Why do you think you're going to like it? I'd rather eat bags and bags of peanut M&Ms. We're not really needing to live on a deserted island. We're just needing to get by 2-3 days until the power comes back on.
Right. But in my mind, I think that's going to save me. Like I'm going to go hungry or something. Like I'm living in a third world country.
Like while your garden is growing out back, you'll have peanut butter.
I don't even know. My husband's like, what are we just going to sit here and eat peanut butter and
with
tuna
a spoon
fish
and-
with a spoon? And,
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's
Like
silly.
maybe some aged cheeses that don't have to be refrigerated.
Right.
But no. I mean,
No.
you could do sausage on it. You could do a whole charcuterie board.
And then you go into the store and the most random things are empty on the shelves,
suddenly
like
you're like,
lettuce. I'm
yeah.
like, lettuce? You can't eat lettuce if you have no power because it's in the refrigerator and you can't open the door. So I was like, why is there no lettuce? Like
Makes
it's
no
always
sense.
random things that and then I do this. Should I be buying lettuce? Like, is there
maybe.
something I don't know
Yeah.
then I start thinking that, like, even though I shouldn't, I'm like, what do they know that I don't know? So I'm always so happy. Like when my daughter was getting married, she's like, oh, an October wedding or June. I'm like, there will be no weddings during hurricane season. None. Absolutely not. This is you got November all the way to May. That's it.
Yeah.
No hurricane weddings, no cancellation of wedding because of a hurricane. We're not doing that. So it really kind of how you live your life in Florida is like around
Sure.
hurricane season.
And it has to be.
Yeah.
And it's a stressful time for everyone.
Yep.
Over on our ladies only page, we are asking you, what's stressing you out these days? What is it that's got you stressed? And it could be something from last week. It could be an ongoing thing. It could be something silly and funny. Just let's share with each other. It's just a talking point, really.
Right.
So get on over there and let us know what the most recent event that's got you on pins and needles. And
I'll tell you what mine is.
do tell.
The new iPhone update. I did that update. Worst mistake. And I did it the day before the hurricane, Milton, because you can now use this satellite thing to talk to
yes,
people.
everyone was sending me that information.
So I had to download it because I'm like, I don't get Wi-Fi when I don't have electricity. I have no internet, no Wi-Fi. So I downloaded it the day before. Biggest mistake I've ever made. Nothing has worked right since. If you don't update it to everything Apple that you own, they don't communicate anymore with each other. So you have to update it everywhere. And photos disappeared, glitches in everything. It was a nightmare. And did I have to use that satellite thing? No. So before you do that update, you might want to wait till they do the Band-Aid one, which they always do, to correct all the mistakes, because that has been the biggest pain in my side for 6 to 7 days now.
Love that you have a solid answer for that. You were like, hold my beer. This is what's
Right.
stressing me out.
What about you? There's
Well,
got to be something.
Gosh, what isn't it? What is it right now at this very moment? I'm gonna say that at this very moment, I'm good. I don't want to rock the boat. I can't think of it. There's like not one screaming thing. I know. Does it mean I'm not like on the edge at any moment waiting for the shoe to drop?
Yeah.
No, but at this moment, I need to document
Right.
this moment where I don't have one specific thing that's going on.
That's great.
Not one. I'm a little irritated that I'm still trying to get that passport back. I didn't tell you they found my passport on that plane from a few weeks ago when I lost my passport. That's a little stressful, but I don't have to live in that moment. So
Right.
it's kind of like,
Well, it's over.
It's over. There's nothing I can do. But yeah, other than that, everything's good. I hope
We'll ask you next week.
It will go 180 degrees next week. Next week, there could be something like what I've got going on.
Right.
So everybody, please do a couple of things for us. We ask you all the time if you would just share our podcast with one friend. And we continue to say that is the absolute biggest compliment to us. That is the nicest thing you can do to grow our show, to grow this community. And when we say our show, we mean our, like you're included. It's all of us in this together. So if you could share us, also when you subscribe, you get notified. Like if you say you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can follow or subscribe, and that tells you every time a new episode drops. And lately we've been dropping bonus episodes here and there, so you'll only know about those if you hit subscribe. We don't want to bombard you with a million things. We do have a Patreon bonus member club where you can see these episodes without any commercials, and you can see them all on video and some bonus material as well. So all that being said, I mean, there's a lot to do as a podcast listener, but the most important thing you can do for us, again, is just listen every week, share with your friends, and keep in touch with us on our Facebook group.
Yes.
We want to know what's going on with you guys. Until then, whether it's worrying about the coming storm or worrying about the latest iOS update on Apple, you can let it go.
And don't look back.
Hey there, new friend. We are so glad you found Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. What started as a passion project has grown into a beautiful and supportive community, and we couldn't be more grateful. Would you like to help us cover the cost of producing and growing this amazing sisterhood? When you join our Uncluttered and Unfiltered bonus club on Patreon for just $5 a month, you'll have early bird access to commercial-free video versions of our episodes, plus plenty of bonus content and some other surprises along the way. Check our show notes for a link to our Patreon and to our always free ladies-only private Facebook group. And thank you for being here. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Looking to make a positive change? Sober October is the perfect time to be more mindful about your alcohol consumption. Whether you're aiming to cut back or take a complete break, October offers a great opportunity to experience the benefits like improved sleep, reduced stress, and a boost to your mental health. Join Hearts for Minds and discover a world of delicious non-alcoholic options with a free ebook, Mocktails with Meaning, featuring curated recipes from expert mixologists to help you celebrate mindfully. It's easy to incorporate non-alcoholic drinks into your social life and enjoy the same flavors and fun without the alcohol. So this October, raise a glass to your well-being. Join the movement, support Hearts for Minds, and discover the joy of mindful drinking. Check out the free ebook at heartsforminds.org and in our show notes.